This is Geek News Central, and the stories that lead today's show are as follows. Did you hear about the Space Corp? Yeah, Space Corps, like in Space Cadets, Space Corps? We'll be talking about that. We're going to talk about Comcast and sabotage. Yes, yes, yes. We're going to talk about the Amazon drone tower. You can't believe what they have got dreamt up. We're going to talk about the Florida State Police spy plane and a big initiative going on in rural broadband, plus, of course, all the news of the day. I want to welcome you to episode 1208 of the Geek News Central podcast for Thursday, June 22nd. This show is sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com, and listeners just like you. Great deals from GoDaddy can be found at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. Of course, we want you to support this show today by going over to geeknewscentral.com/insider or simply paypal.me/geeknews. You can pick up Ohana gear at cafepress.com/Ohana store. Hey, I want to give a warm welcome to all the new listeners to the show. We are back in Hawaii, back in the studio, and I'm really excited about being back. Lots to really not a lot to go over, but just a little bit. But we're back here. But for those of you brand new, take some time to get over to geeknewscentral.com and visit the website. When you're over there, get subscribed to the show. All you got to do is click on the iTunes link on Android via email, Google Play, and Stitcher on TuneIn, whatever your media consumption site or device. We've got it for you right there, so get hooked up. Of course, if you don't know how to subscribe to podcasts, there's an option there. It says more subscribe options. Do that. That'll get you all the information that you're going to need to get connected here. A little bit further down the website is a place to get subscribed to the newsletter. The newsletter contains everything I'm going to talk about during the show today. We want you to take advantage of that and get subscribed to the newsletter as well. And I basically send everything that I'm going to talk about in the show. It's an exact duplicate of what is in the show notes on the website. Hey, if you've got comments on today's show, don't be afraid to drop me an email, geeknews@gmail.com. We want to know where you're listening to the show from. So take a picture with your camera, send that over. And that's gotten some traction here recently, so don't be afraid to do that. Again, geeknews@gmail.com. Of course, on Twitter, you can follow me at Geek News. Join our Slack chat channel by sending an email. Let me know that you want to be part of our chat channel. You can follow me on Google Plus or Facebook. That's the place to hang out on social media, of course. You can watch this show really a lot of places on the Roku via the Tech Podcast channel, on the Apple TV, on the Geek News Central video podcast. You can listen to the show on the Amazon Echo by telling Alexa to play the latest edition of this show's name. You can listen or on Stitcher.com, Listener View, and Blueberry.com, or tell your Google Home device to play the podcast Geek News Central. So lots of ways to consume. And, of course, we don't want to forget about all the shows on the network, which would be No Better Than Average with Jacob and Jeff, Podcast Legends, the show that I do periodically, The Gadget Professor with the Gadget Professor, Mr. Don Vane, the Pro Gear site being put together by my Pro Gear team, of course, the new media show hosted by my co-host and I, Mr. Rob Greenlee. So thanks for basically hanging out and supporting the family of shows here. Of course, this show has the longest running continuous sponsor of a podcast known to man. And of course, that's GoDaddy. GoDaddy's been with us since July. Yes, July of 2005. So in a few short days, it'll officially be 12 years that this show has been sponsored by the same sponsor. And we want you to take advantage of that. Go over to geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. That's where you're going to find all the deals, whether it be a 30% discount code at 99cent.com, $1 a month economy hosting, $1 a month managed WordPress hosting, all with a free domain for the first year, $12. Get you hosting with a free domain. Really, you can't beat that. For you guys that have businesses, you get 1 month free trial of GoDaddy Website Builder as well, your choice of personal business or business plus plans. So check again all those out on the website at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. We want to thank GoDaddy for being a longtime sponsor here and continuing to support the show. Those of you joining us on YouTube and on Facebook tonight, make sure you say hello in the chat rooms. We definitely want to hear from you as we're progressing through the podcast tonight. I'm be honest with you, I'm still dealing with a little jet lag. It's 8 p.m. here in Hawaii, 2 a.m. on the East Coast. I woke up last night after going to bed relatively late at 3:30 in the morning, and I was just like, dun 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 dun. And I just basically I tried to stay in bed, but my body was awake. So I'm slowly shifting back to Honolulu. So I'm a little bit on the ragged edge tonight. No caffeine assistance, so you're gonna have to deal with a little bit more punchy Todd than what you normally do. But hey, it is good to be home. Even though there's been some drama, the 19-year-old, and that young man is going to test every fiber in my body. Dads, when you have a son at that age, they definitely test limits, and boy, we've had a few of those. My daughter's back in the house, so that's some additional drama. And I was, let's put it this way, I had to put the law down today and assign regimented home house duties. They are not happy campers, but as I keep saying, this is not a motel hotel. I am not, and your mom are not maids, and you shall, even though you're living here rent free, going to school, and of course, school's out right now, you shall help out around the house. And if you don't, you can beep, 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 beep. So, yeah, we're there. And I was talking with my mom about it a little bit, and she's just like, give him the boot. The 19-year-old specifically, give him the boot, let him find out what it's like out in the real world, and not having be a legend on League of Legends where you have to worry about paying rent and having your electricity on and your food and everything else. Hawaii or not, it's things are going to change over the next couple weeks. I'll keep you advised. But we're at that stage of life. And I have a millennial or two in the home. But anyway, uneventful flight back. Did get some internet on the second leg. I was able to get some work done. It was pretty slow, though. I don't think I remember having this slow of internet on the airplane before. I don't know if everybody and their brother were on. But anyway, good flight back, really all the way across the United States and across the pond here. Got in relatively no issue. My daughter picked me up from the airport. I was actually got in the car mid-meeting. It was our weekly board or our bi-weekly board meeting, and I joined it in progress as soon as the airplane landed. So anyway, that was kind of interesting. But other than that, it's just been back to the grind, and we're ready really to. There's a lot of stuff coming. So, and I definitely want to thank tonight Kirk for getting the show together. He got about 80% of it. I got the rest. And I got a good lineup of stuff for you tonight, a good stack. And the first article that really kind of blew me away was there's this house panel that's taking the first step towards a military Space Corps. So they took the first steps towards establishing a Space Corps within the United States Air Force, similar to the way the Marine Corps function in the Navy, by drafting legislation that would require the new organization to be set up by January 1st, 2019. And the House Armed Services Committee prepares the vote on the National Defense Authorization Act. The Strategic Force Subcommittee, which oversees military space matters, released its proposed additions to the bill. The subcommittee is scheduled to form a legislative markup session on, basically today. But why do we need a Space Corps? They wanted to establish a Space Corps to serve as a separate military service within the Department of Air Force and under the leadership of civilian leadership of the Secretary of the Air Force. What? Why? Do they know something we don't? Congress has to step in, the statement says, with bipartisan acknowledgement that the strategic advantage we derive from our national security space systems are eroding. Rogers said in a prepared statement, "We are convinced the Department of Defense is unable to take the measures necessary to address these challenges effectively and decisively, or even recognize the nature and scale of its problems." What are those? What problems? Why do we need a Space Corps? We have a organization within the United States that does a lot of stuff for putting stuff in space. But when you say Space Corps, that is like, let's put some military guys in space. I'm kind of The Space Corps would be led by its own chief, would sit on the Joint Chiefs of Staff with a 6-year term. It would be a position equal to the Chief of Staff of the Air Force and would answer to the Secretary of the Air Force. Current Air Force leadership opposes setting up a Space Corps. Appearing before the Senate Armed Service Committee in May, Chief of Staff General David Goldfein said he believes the move would only cause confusion. I'm confused. Is there a threat? Are we entering the time of first contact? I read a lot of sci-fi. When they start forming space corps, it makes me really go, what's the story here? So, let's run a hypothetical. You've got the general. We don't need the Space Corps. We're good. There's no need for it. Maybe he's been told to say that in order to them to ramrod this through and get this set up, because maybe they know something's coming and we have to start preparing. Why do we need a Space Corps? It is a question. I'm not thinking from a strategic satellite situation. I think there's some agencies that have that covered. It's odd to me. We've got NASA. We've got commercial launch going on. Why all of a sudden do we need a separate Space Corps? Now, they're not going to put someone up in that X-37. That's not going to happen. There's no room for someone unless they're going to make him lay down. But it does make you go, just a little bit. Love to hear your comments. geeknews@gmail.com. Space Corps. Huh. All right. Switching to a totally different topic, a local internet service provider claims that Comcast sabotaged it into shutting down. The complaint presents a straightforward narrative. In 2013, Comcast tried to buy the local ISP Telecom Cable LLC, which is a Texas internet service provider. They refused what it claimed to be an undervalued offer. In 2015, Comcast decided to expand in the area and employed 2 contracting companies to install cable, while Telecom alleges it clearly marked its pipes with spray paint signifying actively used wires and above-ground flags, as well as sending a map of its infrastructure to the contractor teams. The workers were cutting their wires all over the place. And it caused this company's business to just kind of implode on itself. Now, I don't know what kind of service they provided, but Luna is the name of the company. is seeking to recover the cost of its business, which they estimate at $1.8 million in value, plus damages. Of course, Costco says, we're innocent, we will defend. So we'll see where this leads here. But if any of you in Texas know about this little ISP called Luna, is there more to the story here than what has been put forth? Amazon, of course, they bought Whole Foods, and that happened while, we missed a show because I just couldn't get into my schedule on Monday. And I did a lot of speculation on why Amazon bought Whole Foods. I'll be honest, I can't afford to shop there. In Hawaii, Whole Foods is like where the rich people go. If I go in there, it's like I go to like their food bar or something and maybe get some food, and then even then it's maybe like 50% more than anywhere else. So it may not be the case but in Hawaii, Whole Foods is crazy expensive. So them buying it just made me go, what do they want to do? Well, oh, don't send me all these sites asking for permission to send notifications. It's a little annoying. But anyway, Amazon envisions giant drone towers to speed up delivery. They did a patent submission. And basically, you got semi-trucks delivering, and then a big building with holes in it like pigeons would land in. Instead, it's drones, and they're going to land and pick up and deliver gear. This is the stupidest thing I think I have seen in quite some time. It's just very comical. I'm just a little bit baffled by it. But anyway, it's got holes with ledges where the parts and stuff can be delivered. So, multi-level fulfillment center. So they're going to put these on top of Whole Foods? Put this big silo up there for its drones to land? I don't know, but it's a little bit weird. So, gotta hand it to Amazon for trying to be unique, but it's just a little bit odd. Florida, specifically the Miami-Dade Police Department, has decided to drop its wide area surveillance plan in the face of public backlash. The MDPD tried to slip it past residents and the county government by claiming the acquisition of a secret spy plane was too important to be done. Was too important to be done properly. Documents submitted by the commission, first posted by the New Times last Thursday, showed that MDPD had already applied for a $500,000 Department of Justice grant to begin testing the program. The department claimed the deadline to apply for the grant had allegedly been too pressing to wait to notify the public, and so County Mayor Carlos Jimenez's office applied for the Department of Justice money without first getting public approval. This was a classic case of asking for forgiveness rather than permission, coupled with a deliberate attempt to circumvent part of the due process in the county. One of the documents that was posted publicly, one of the documents was posted public and the backlash began, led by a number of rights groups, including the ACLU. The surveillance system sought was a repurposed Iraq war tech, which would have contained a drone, high-powered camera system mounted on an airplane that proponents and opponents both describe as a DVR for real life, capable of capturing 32 square mile area. The cameras don't provide much in terms of close-up details. Depends on the altitude. But do allow law enforcement agencies to track people's movement over a several-hour period. So they were looking to get something on board and have eyes in the sky and basically be on drone patrol down in Miami. And the public doesn't like that. So they've had to withdraw and pull back. But, we're militarizing police departments. This is happening all over the country. Police departments are, we already know that they've geared up. Tactical vehicles, their SWAT teams are now look like paramilitary more than a SWAT team. It's a whole new game. And, ever since 9/11, that's been the entire, progression here. So now they want to put surveillance planes in the skies over U.S. citizens? Hmm. I don't know. I don't think I like that too much myself either. So good on the Miami public to get out there and get this shut down. In a speech this week given at Kirkwood Community College in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, the president said that his upcoming infrastructure plan will include expanding a broadband internet access in rural areas. And you guys know I'm big on wanting to promote, basically folks in rural America to be able to get high-speed internet. So he's concluding a provision in the infrastructure proposal, which is a $1 trillion proposal to promote and foster enhanced broadband access for rural America. And access to high-speed internet has been persistently bad in rural America compared to urban areas, obviously. An issue that led the FCC to launch its Connect America Fund, which was approved in 2014. The fund brought $170 million to New York. Earlier this year, and AT&T has begun fulfilling its Connect America promise slowly to expand access, starting with Georgia earlier this year. New York representatives asked the president to include expanded broadband access in his infrastructure plan. So we'll see how much money gets tapped to bring in the internet to rural America. And I think this is something we should do, be honest with you. One thing that, let's see if I've got it. I don't have it here. Whenever I travel now, I take my Amazon Fire TV with me. It's just the stick, the USB stick with, it's got an HDMI stick with a power connector, and it works out really, really well because you can open up a separate menu. You can authenticate on the hotel's wireless, and you can, if you've got a good enough internet connection. I didn't have regular TV on the entire 2 weeks. I was out on the East Coast because I basically use my Amazon Fire Stick to watch Amazon series of movies and so forth. But more hotels are going to start letting you watch your own Netflix, and it's called Staycast. A Google Chromecast powered service for hotels could fulfill your dream of being able to watch whatever you want to as a guest. Especially now, it's become much easier to get AT&T. AT&T has just announced that hotels can get DirecTV HD systems preloaded with Staycast. So make sure to look around and ask if you can stream your own stuff, and if the property offers the carrier satellite TV service. All you have to do is download the service's Hotel Cast app for iOS and Android and connect to the hotel's Wi-Fi to start streaming your own Netflix, Hulu, and other Cast-enabled apps. So this is big, and much better than dealing with the 10 channels you usually get in the hotel room. And it's, that's something I always hate. But my internet connection was good enough this time to be able to stream movies. Facebook has decided to prevent profile pictures misuse with new protections, and this is specifically being targeted for women in India. Apparently, it's not uncommon for someone's profile picture on a social network to be misused to cast them in a negative light. It's one of the risks that are associated with social media. Now, Facebook is doing a bit to prevent profile picture misuse. Oftentimes, people's profiles are used on other profiles. But anyway, the company is offering new protection for profile pictures to users in India so that someone with nefarious intentions cannot share, copy, or download the image from Facebook. So Facebook users in India will now start to see a step-by-step guide to add an optional profile picture guard. When they add this guard, other people will not be able to download, share, or send their profile picture in a message on Facebook. So didn't know this is a problem in India. It must be a regional thing, but I do know that sometimes I get invited to be friending of a young lady that's pretty cute that obviously is a fake profile. I don't know if that's the case in India, if that's what's going on here, but interesting changes by Facebook. Hey, there's a good article over on makeuseof.com, the 25 best websites you may have never heard of. And Quartify, Easy Color Scheme, Coolers, Free Sound, open game art, academic Earth, and a variety of different websites with a bunch of different services. So I'll have this link up in the show notes. There's a few cute, cool ones to take a peek at. So I'll have that linked up. Hey, the FTC is offering some tips to avoid getting scammed at the pump. They're saying a lot of card scanners are going in, and some of them are really designed well, and you really can't tell that they're different. But make sure you're looking for, when you're at gas stations, make sure that the tamper seal on the pump doesn't say void. Make sure that, because when they peel that back, it actually changes the tamper tape to actually see the words void. If you see that, don't use that pump. And of course, always, I always pull now on, where you stick your credit card in. I always double check to make sure that it looks the same as other pumps. And, that's where they usually get us, folks. And don't use your debit cards with your pins. They can clean you out when you do that. Don't. Please use the Visa function of your debit card. Don't use your pin, all right? German police have raided 36 homes over social media hate speech. Boy, what if they did that in the United States? Last year, Germany proposed a bill that would fine social media providers such as Facebook and Twitter for failure to remove hate speech within 24 hours on their respective platforms. Now, Germany has raided the homes of 36 people accused of posting hate speech or other illegal content. German law prohibits hate speech, according to the New York Times. Citizens can be imprisoned for inciting racial hatred for up to 5 years. This campaign was primarily targeted at right-wing hate speech, but also included those that posted hateful left-wing content and harassment based on sexual orientation. So, people getting arrested going to the pokey. You can, depending on the country you live in, you can say whatever you want, but it comes with consequences. All right, Ron Howard is the new director of the Han Solo movie. The old directors are out. Oscar-winning director Ron Howard is taking over. So Phil Lord and Christopher Miller are out of here. And the initial news came by the way of Hollywood Reporter. But Howard has a history with Star Wars creator George Lucas that dates all the way back to 1973. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here with this. So good luck to Ron Howard every time I see him, I picture him as a little kid in the Andy Griffith Show. Older people trust smart gadgets less than kids, survey says. Older people trust smart gadgets less than kids. Many times, older people don't know how to run some gadgets. But a survey done basically says that, those are older are a little bit more leery of tech, whereas the youngins kind of just jump in. So I think it's good to be leery on some of this tech and keep your eyes open. So I have that link up in the show notes if you're going to see the study. 10 of the best deals you can get on Amazon today. I have that link up for you as well. Oftentimes, I'm always worried about these deals because it's at the end of the day, my day. This was posted earlier today. So does that mean the deal's still going on tomorrow? I don't know. But anyway, link will be up for you to check it out. And all these deal sites are cool. Hulu is getting a ton of new movies for July. 48 Hours, 8 Heads in a Duffel Bag, another 48 Hours, Beverly Hills Ninja, Boomerang, Braveheart, Dark City, The Furries, Godsend, Hunt for Red October, Killing Zeppelin, La Bama, Married to the Mob, The Mask, Payback. Some good movies in here. School Days, Scrooge, a whole bunch of Star Trek movies. And the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, 1, 2, and 3. And anyway, so the link will be up in the show notes on all these movies that are coming to Hulu in July. Okay, so you are in a city, and you get you get notified that there's a promotion going on for Charmin. Yes, you know Charmin who is, right? Some of you have a roll of Charmin of TP in your bathrooms right now. Well, Charmin is currently promoting their flagship toilet paper. soft and strong. It's better be soft and strong. Currently through Van Gogh, an on-demand mobile bathroom in central Manhattan. So they've been inviting people to come in and, do a number two. Can you imagine? You walk up to this van. There's people there to explain how this is going to work. You go into the van. It's got a single bathroom in it, and you do your thing, and you wash your hands, of course, when you're done, and then you go in and tell them what you thought of the Sherman. uh, and the people that are doing this are being really woohoo! They're clapping when you come out and everything. Okay. But you got to give them credit for doing this social media program and doing this thing in New York City, getting some attention. I just talked about it. All right, hey, if you've put some wall sockets with USB chargers in them, did you know you can get USB-C now? So if you're looking to upgrade your wall socket so that you can have USB or standard USB 3 and USB-C, they've got some available right now, $24 to about $26 is the cost, and that way you won't have to have another charger or another brick plugged into to your socket. So I'll have that link up in the show notes. Of course, according to Android Central, the flip phones are back, making a comeback with announcement of the Samsung Galaxy Folder 2 flip phone in South Korea. It's a wonder if we're backtracking through time when phones were simpler, but they have put together a flip phone and has some smart functions. But anyway, for those of you that just like to dial a number and talk, and that's it, this is available for you. Cricket, yes, Cricket, the mobile provider, the wireless company, continues to live the lyrics, the best thing in life for free. After T-Mobile began offering pizza last year, followed by AT&T Thanks with free movie tickets, and just recently Virgin Mobile's $1 service deal, Cricket, who is an AT&T subsidiary, is joining the fray. Though it may not be offering free food, the company said it will sell discounted gift cards and offer raffles for prizes like a new phone or ticket to the House of Blues during a Cricket Rewards Week, June 26th through June 30th. They have Cricket here. I don't know very many people that are using Cricket, but it is a discounted mobile phone service. Sling TV Cloud DVR is now available for iOS. So after rolling out its DVR to numerous other platforms, Sling TV today is making the feature available on iOS. The latest Sling TV for iPhone and iPads adds the ability to record shows and movies on most channels that aren't owned by Disney. DVR is already available on Android, Apple TV, Roku, Fire TV, Xbox One, and Windows 10. So, going to cost you $5 a month for Sling DVR First Look. Link will be up in the show notes. Virgin Mobile reinvents phone subsidies with an iPhone-only deal. So if you're looking for an iPhone, looking to get a discount, Virgin Mobile's making a play. And I'll have the link up in the show notes. But way to get a discounted phone by signing up for Virgin Mobile. FCC is proposing a national blue alert system to warn public of threats to law enforcement. So Blue Alert is going to be tied to the U.S. Emergency Alert System, which will notify the public of nearby suspects or threats to their communities. Law enforcement officials said that Blue Alert was introduced in 2015 after 2 New York City police officers were ambushed and killed. While on duty, the proposal seeks to make the Blue Alert, currently active in 27 states, a consistent nationwide system that each state and local agencies can adopt. Alerts can be sent through a television broadcast, cable or satellite, radio stations, and wireline video outlets. So the format is modeled after the Amber Alert for missing children. Link will be up in the show notes if you want to check that out. Asus new VivoBook S has slim bezels, a 7th generation processor, and only cost $700. So this is pretty cool. This S510 by Asus features, again, a 7th generation Intel Core i7 processor running Windows 10, designed to look nearly identical to the MacBook Air. The laptop weighs 3.3 pounds and has a 7.8 millimeter thick bezel. which is very, very thin. Again, it starts at $6.99 and goes up to $7.99. Available through online store, ABT, B&H, Computer Upgrade King, and Newegg. Chicago's new Apple Store, they're putting a MacBook on the roof. Yeah, what looks like a MacBook lid on the roof. So you have to hand it to Apple for trying to be unique. But I don't know if I'd want to be on this roof. It looks very slick, how nice glossy Mac laptops are. It kind of looks the same way. But anyway, I'll have the link on the show notes for you to check that out. And I'm going to be honest here tonight, folks. I am running on Steam. So I apologize. It's jet lag big time. So I'm going to push through here to get the rest of these articles knocked out. Hey, the FCC may fine robocall spammers. FCC may fine a robocall spammer for $120 million for illegal spoofing. And apparently someone was trying to sell timeshares, and they were faking the caller ID, making people think that it was someone within the neighborhood that was calling. So they got caught, and the FCC is ready to throw down a $120 million fine. Over on YouTube, there was an announcement, or basically a sit-down at VidCon, and there was some amazing numbers coming out of VidCon about YouTube. So they crossed a big threshold. 1.5 billion logged in viewers visit YouTube every single month. That's equivalent of one in every 5 people in the world around the world. And how much do those people watch? On average, their viewers spend over an hour a day watching YouTube on mobile devices. An hour a day? That blows me away. And they're working to make VR more accessible for folks. There's going to be a new look for their app and their desktop site. And YouTube mobile app will dynamically adapt to whatever size you choose to watch it in. That means if you're watching a vertical, square, or horizontal video, the YouTube player will seamlessly adapt itself, filling the screen exactly the way it should. So that's just some of the things coming. Here's a whole list of new features and changes coming to YouTube. Be in the show notes, of course. There's an article over on Time.com, Time Magazine, talking about hacking, specifically Russians hacking the election. And I find it interesting that this continued digging, and so far they found nothing. But it does appear that there were some databases that were tampered with. And I don't think this should come as a surprise to anyone. We know that there's been weaknesses in the voting system for years. We've talked about in this show specifically, talking about voting machines that could be manipulated. So anyway, long story short here, some of the stuff was caught, and some of it wasn't digital, some of it was paper records. But long story short, it doesn't make any sense. How do paper records get hacked? They don't. Oh, they had backups. So some digital databases were messed with, but they were recovered. And like I said, folks, I'm getting punchy here, okay? Hey, Airbnb's testing a payment split feature so you don't get stiffed. You can split the bill 16 different ways. I think if I rent my house as an Airbnb, I don't want 16 people in it at any time. But anyway, that's one option. Uncle Sam wants your deep neural networks. On Thursday, department working with Google will introduce a 1.5 million contest to build computer algorithms that can automatically identify concealed items and images captured by checkpoint body scammers. So when you're standing there with your hands above your head and they're scanning you, and they tell you to step out, they want better software to detect what is underneath your clothes. So they don't have to take you in the back and strip search you. This news popped here over the weekend. Words can kill. A Massachusetts juvenile judge decided last Friday to find the 20-year-old Michelle Carter guilty of involuntary manslaughter in the 2014 suicide of her then-boyfriend Conrad Roy. The decision, with its broad interpretation, of the manslaughter statute could potentially pose long-lasting consequences for how we speak to each other online and how cyberbullying is addressed by social media platforms. I don't know how much time she's going to get. Um, does it say? Well, she can get 20 years, so I guess sentencing hasn't happened yet. But the ACLU is against this type of, uh, what happened in this case. They don't think someone should be able to be put away for what you say or what you text someone with. But this is not the case. This young lady is going to go to jail for a while. Oh, by the way, no tapes. Trump said there's no tapes. He hasn't recorded Comey. No tapes. Don't worry. No Watergate yet. Oh my gosh. No tapes. Makes you wonder, huh? Hey, did you guys hear about this Canadian sniper? Set a new world record. He made a kill shot at 3.5 kilometers or 2.2 miles. It was an astonishing distance of 3,450 meters. Again, more than 2 miles away. He beat the record. This Canadian took out a bad ISIS operator. He must have been waiting for this guy to come out, but it's crazy. Two Canadian snipers shot dead. This terrorist at 3,450 meters. More than two. They wanted this guy bad. Really, really bad. But anyway, they hold the record now. I think they hold the first, third, fourth, and fifth records in long-distance sniper actions. An exploding cream dispenser killed a French fitness blogger. Beautiful young woman by the name of Rebecca Berger was killed by home appliance. They basically said a warning against faulty dispensers was posted to her Instagram account, saying it exploded and stuck Rebecca's chest, causing her death. French media reported she had died of cardiac arrest after the incident, despite medical attention. The popular fitness travel figure is known in France with some 55,000 Facebook fans and 154,000 followers on Instagram. It was a whipped cream dispenser that works by injecting gas into a metal container, keeping the entire dispenser under high pressure. And apparently this thing came apart, and a part of it hit her in the chest. And, wow. Other people have had dental injuries, loss an eyeball. I've never heard of one of these things. So if you have a whipped cream dispenser that's pressurized, get rid of that thing. Amazing that she got hit so hard in the chest, it put her in a cardiac arrest. Just horrible. Absolutely horrible. That's amazing. Article on Slashdot, the U.S. government wants to permanently legalize the right to repair. We know they've been working on this for a while. And one of the biggest wins for the right to repair yet, the U.S. Copyright Office suggested Thursday that the U.S. government should take actions to make it legal to repair anything you own forever, even if it requires hacking into the product software. Manufacturers including John Deere, Ford, various printer companies, and a host of consumer electronic companies have argued that it should be illegal to bypass the software locks because they get a lot of business from aftermarket stuff. So the office recommends against limiting exemption to specific technology or devices such as motor vehicles, as any statutory language would soon be outpaced by technology. So they're just trying to eliminate it and let people say you can fix your own stuff for as long as you want. You don't have to go back to the manufacturer. Hey, the DJI put a whole bunch of software updates in preventing people from flying in areas they're not supposed to. So a Russian company is selling mods to bypass the DJI drone safety features. You can buy one of these mods between $200 and $500, but be aware, you're going to void your warranty and you may not be able to update your drone. One update. Remember that Tesla driver that drove underneath the truck trailer that was basically crossing in front of him? It appears the driver in the fatal Tesla autopilot crash wasn't wasn't watching a movie, but he definitely wasn't paying attention. And during a 37-minute period leading up to the May 2016 Florida accident, Joshua Brown apparently had his hands on the wheel for just 25 seconds. So just technology got him. My God. Lulled into a false sense of, of safety. It's crazy. All right, SpaceX is going to launch a second recycled Falcon 9 rocket, launching the first Bulgarian GEO ComSat June 23rd, plus potential weekend launch doubleheader. And there's going to be a potentially another launch over the weekend. And who's that for? I'm scrolling down through. I don't see who the second launch is for. They're only launching. It looks like they're only launching one. I don't know why they say this is a double header. Yeah, I don't see a second launch. But anyway, be a nice something to watch tomorrow or today for those of you that are listening today. All right, good luck, SpaceX. All right, we're at the end of the content. Yeah, that was a quick go through, right? I'm barely keeping myself in a coherent state, but I did want to go through the emails. Got an email here from Joe. He says, "Hey, where I am, I'm in Stillwater, Oklahoma. This is the view outside my back door." You know, Joe, that to me, I'm looking at that. You got yourself a pond back there, or is that just an optical illusion? Looks to me like you got yourself a pond back there. Is there a little duck hunting or a little fishing going on in that pond? Thanks, Joe, for sending that over. I appreciate it. Got another one from William. He says, "Hey, Todd, I'm at my desk at work." And you got to love a guy that's got multiple monitors. And it kind of looks like my desk here, multi-size monitors. And you work in a call center or some sort? It looks like you got a touch screen with the... So anyway, very, very cool. What do you do, William? And thanks for being part of the Ohana here. We got an email from Sean. He says, "Hey, I'm listening to the latest GNC while having mediocre pasta for lunch at a restaurant in town where I live. Pretty boring view here." So let me open this up. Well, there's some cute girls in the background of that picture there, Sean. So not too bad. All right, there was one other email came in, and I think, where did I put it? Someone, where was it? Oh, now I'm upset because I had one more come in. I'll find it for the listener that sent the last one in. I do appreciate you guys sending me pictures of where you're at. And thanks for being part of the Ohana here and listening in on this short show back in the saddle for the podcast. I think I'm going to be here for a while. I don't think I'm going on any travel anytime in the near future. If I do, it might be a short trip to Columbus or something to go to our office. But right now, I'm here for a bit. But just looking at the schedule, I think we'll be on for 2 shows next week. The 4th of July holiday weekend for the United States. The holiday's on the 4th, but I know a lot of people are taking a long weekend, taking the Monday off. So I will probably take that Monday of July 3rd off as well. I don't expect there to be too much tech news that day, but 2 shows next week as scheduled. Of course, the new media show this coming Saturday. So I hope that you'll join us on that. But other than that, drop me an email, geeknews@gmail.com, geeknews@gmail.com. And did you guys catch the couple little mistakes I made in the show today? I caught it. I'm not going to edit them out. And love to hear if you caught it and laughed at me. I was drifting here a little bit tonight, folks. I'm serious. I am, stick a fork in me. It'll be fun getting through the show notes tonight. But we'll get out of here. Everyone, thanks for being here. Drop me an email, geeknews@gmail.com. For those of you that have been on live, thanks for hanging out. Those of you that were here, Josh, thanks for hanging. Josh, yeah, running on steam, man, it's just like means you're barely hanging on. But all right, everyone, take care. We'll see you next time. Aloha.